So, what is a budget? I'll tell you. All right. A budget is a plan you write down to decide how you'll spend your money each month. As simple as that. See, Frank says something constraining. All that a budget is a plan of exactly how you're going to use your money every month. It's the same thing as dieting. You know what a diet is? A diet is just anything that you eat. That's all that a diet is. A lot of people have a problem with dieting or the idea of dieting because they think restrictive, they think terrible. They think, oh my gosh, I can't eat all the things that I love. And it's like, well, you could eat all the things you love, just probably in moderation, right? That's all that a diet is, and a budget's the same thing. You could do all the things you love, maybe just in moderation and with a plan. So what does it mean to have a budget? Right? And this is what it means to have a budget. A budget helps you make sure you have enough money every month. That's it. When you have a budget, you have enough money every month. It gives you so much more peace of mind. Now, without a budget, for the most part, you're gonna run out of money with so much more month left. Okay, you're gonna have less money than the time allocated. And there's actually a game that I make my students play. I'm gonna share with you guys in a little bit, but it really shows them how to budget and what happens when you don't have a budget. You'd be surprised that not having any budget at all is so much harder. And everyone that's in here today, I will be sharing a budgeting resource at the end of this, all right? And lastly, when you actually budget, you'll actually reach your financial dreams and goals. This is a part of Basecamp, which is building assets and securing earnings, right? We already talked about the roadmap, and the roadmap talks about where's our vision? What is our why? Where do we want to go to? Where do we want to get to? What's a life that you want to make a reality? That's what we're talking about in the roadmap. Now, as we budget, we can actually plan. A part of roadmap, we said we want to align and define. And now that you have your budget, that you can start to align the things in your life so you're going towards where you want to instead of where you don't want to. All right. So we got 6 pillars to budgeting. All right. I kind of have I like 6 pillars. It's kind of a vibe for me. Okay. But to avoid being a financial failure, you need to do these 6 things. If you do all 6 of these things, you will be a financial winner, or at least you'll be a couple steps away from being a financial loser. So here's how we're going to make our budget. The first pillar is to calculate. Now, what exactly are these calculations that we want to do when it comes to our money? I'll show you. You want to calculate your net income. Your net income is a foundation of any budget that you make. You need to know the total amount of money that's coming in, that's actually coming in. And the way you do this is you take your gross income minus your deductions. This will give you your net income. What are some deductions that we may have? Employment insurance, Canadian pension plan, company pension, benefits, EI, is that already? Yeah, employment insurance, EI.
And
Taxes.
taxes.
Exactly. Yep. See? Thank you. Yeah. Taxes. And it's crazy. I remember when I was younger, I used to think I started working at the federal court. My contract said I was supposed to make 4,000 some odd dollars per month. This is like I'm 18. I'm like, wow, I'm balling. I'm rich. And I'm like, why am I only getting like 3K every month? Like, where's the rest of my money? My contract said like 4,000. What is this? I had no idea that I was that my gross and my net were 2 different things. So I was spending as if I was earning $4,000 a month because I'm like, yeah, I make 4,000 a month, right? So I should have that. But I wasn't actually having that, so I was in a deficit every month. Now, there are deduction calculators that you can check out. It says QR code in book because this is actually all of this that we're going to go over is actually in the financial empowerment workbook, which I teach all across the city. But you guys are getting this for free today. I'm putting you on some game. So, congratulations, you just calculate your net income. Great. First step is done. Let's go to the next pillar. The next pillar is to track. I keep saying fitness and finance are the same thing. If you don't track what is happening in your financial life, there is no way to make any changes or change direction or anything. You're kind of you're in the dark at that point. When we make our roadmap, we talk about looking at our past, our present, to then look at what our future can be. This is our review and organized phase. So when you're tracking, you're now reviewing. Roadmap and Basecamp are so intertwined. And that's why I love these frameworks. So let's talk about tracking our spending. Benjamin Franklin says, beware of a little expense. A small leak will sink a great ship. Who'd have thought?
Titanic.
Exactly. And what I was watching a video actually on social media earlier. I shared it on my story on Instagram. And this guy's like, you can buy Starbucks every day for $5, or you can invest $5 every day into Starbucks stock, which you could. And it showed the difference between how much money you lose and how much money you could earn over X amount of timelines. And he said 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 25 years, 30 years. It's a tremendous amount of money. It's just $5 a day. But what happens when you don't track? Well, you don't know what your spending is. So you should track, keep your receipts, okay? Your groceries, your clothes, you're eating out. Especially if you're like an artist, or if you're an artist, a business owner, if you're creative of any type, I can show you guys exactly how to keep your receipts and track them. So you can start writing off meals, you can write off a bunch of stuff. So it lowers your tax bracket because you're in business as an artist, but keep all your receipts. You can look back and say, oh yeah, last month I spent 200 on groceries. This month I spent like 300. Where did it actually go? Your bills, like your phone bills, your car insurance, your electricities, your pay stubs. You'd be so surprised how many people don't keep track of their money as it's coming in. So as you keep track of your pay stubs, now if anyone asks you, hey, what did you earn in the last X amount of times, you can just grab your stubs. They're all in one place and it's easier for you to review. But also, sometimes your employers pay you incorrectly. So you need to look at the pay stub versus what actually went to your account and say, hey, where's my money? Your bank statements, great. Every single month, I say just hit that download button. I think some of them only will keep it for 2 years. It's better for you to keep track of it. And your credit card statements. Now, you don't have to do this all the time. I would suggest that you do it all the time on an ongoing basis, because there's a lot of valuable insights that you will get by doing this for a long time. But if you don't have a lot of time, it is okay. Just keep track for a minimum of 30 days. When you look at what your finances are doing across 30 days, the reason why this helps you is simply because now you have more awareness of how you're spending things and where your money's going and how it's flowing. Is it flowing in? Is it flowing out? Like, is it working for you? Is it working against you? And you can take that 30 days and times it by 12, and you get a pretty, not that accurate, but as close to being accurate as possible, because we're creatures of habit, of what your spending is for the year. Where's your money going for that year? How is it flowing for that year? And if you do it for 30 days, you can look far into the future or look backwards and say, yeah, wow, I spend this much on Mars bars every month, and this is why I spend $1,000 a year on chocolate. Damn, like, it'll help you get a quick idea. All right, let's keep it moving to the next pillar, which is to set some goals. So you've already calculated how much money you're actually bringing in. You already started tracking where your money actually is going and how much of it is actually coming in, that cash flow. And the next thing is to look at your goals. Now, you guys may have heard this before, but I'm still going to share it because I want to see what y'all say. Today, we have an actual really wonderful quote from this guy named Ty. He says, your dreams are possible when you write them down. I found that all of my dreams, all of my goals, all my aspirations to this age in life, for the most part, I've actually achieved. Everyone that I wrote down, I've actually achieved. And everyone that I wrote down frequently over and over and over are the ones that I look back, I reflect, and I'm like, wow, I'm living my 15-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-old, 25-year-old dream life. And I kind of wish that I dreamt bigger. All right. So your dreams are possible when you write them down. And let's actually start with the S. The S is to be specific. When you're writing out your goals and your dreams and your aspirations, you want to be as specific as possible. It's easier to hit a target if you know where it is. If you don't know where the target is, you're kind of screwed. Once again, you're shooting in the dark. So what is the thing that you actually want? Okay, measure it. Okay, and let's actually keep it towards the finances. Be specific. How much money do you want to make this year? How much debt do you want to clear this year? Or what's the exact savings amount? How much money do you want to have saved in your emergency fund this year? Be specific and set the amount. Make sure you can measure it. This is why we want that exact dollar amount. Is it attainable for you right now? Don't say, yeah, I'm gonna save $1 million this year, and you're making minimum wage. Like, bro, that's gonna dismotivate you. Instead, maybe you say, hey, I want to have 2 months worth of my living put aside into my saving and emergency fund. That's more attainable. It's going to be difficult if you're making minimum wage and you're not living at home, but that's something that's more attainable. So make sure you got that. Okay, realistic or relevant? And let's say relevant for this one. What goal are you setting when it comes to your finances, and why is it relevant to the journey and the life that you want to live? How does it align? See, back to our roadmap. How does it align with your future vision and everything you want to do in your life? And time bound. So this is why I said, hey, maybe you set a goal. Say, I want to get this done in the next 2 months. I want to be out of debt in the next 6 months, or I want to be debt free in 1 year, or I want to have an 800 credit score by the end of 2025, or I want to have saved $40,000 by the end of 2025. Or I want to make more money. I want to double my income by the end of 2020. Set the timeline. What month, what date, and actually write it down. I tell you, when you write down your dreams, they actually become reality. Next, let's slide over to your actual plan. We calculated, we tracked, we set some goals. Now let's set a plan in place. And as I go through setting up the plan, I'm actually going to jump over to another screen because I want to share with you guys. I'll show you guys exactly how this breakdown works. So rule number 1, if everything that I told you went in one ear and out the other, then just forget everything I said except this one thing. Please pay yourself first 10% or more. That's your goal. If you can't do 10% right now, fine, start with 1% and set a goal to increase it slowly and steadily till it's 10%. You deserve that. You are worth it. You are a valuable person, and future you deserves to have more money than present you. Future you should not be more broke than present you. And the only way that future you is not going to be more broke than present you is if you pay yourself first. Give it back to yourself. You deserve it. You're paying the shoe company, you're paying the phone company, you're paying Yorkdale Mall, you're paying everyone else. But you're not paying yourself. So this is a small invitation to say, look, put yourself first, pay yourself first, all right? 10% or more. And here's the breakdown for how we make our plan, because a goal without a plan is just a wish. And at the Millionaires in the Making Club, as much as we all wish to be millionaires, we're not wishing, we're planning to be millionaires one way or another. So you can see here, I got pay yourself first, PYS, okay, which is 1 to 20%. The goal is to get to 20% and then to make it more and more and more relative to what your actual income number is, but pay yourself first. Then we have our emergency fund, 10 to 20%. We have our fun money, 5 to 10%. We have our living, 50 to 70%. And you figure out what makes sense and how you're going to merge things and meld things and whatever else you got to do to make this a reality. So as I continue to go through this, there's something that I do want to share with you. So this is the MITM Club's bank account breakdown. Now, I'm always telling people about Tangerine and how wonderful of a bank it is, okay? Always telling people how great Tangerine is. And the reason why I tell people about Tangerine, the biggest reason why I tell people it's a really useful bank is because of this breakdown that we can do right here. So at Tangerine, you could have 2 checking accounts. See, I have 2 checking accounts here, and I think I have like 8 savings accounts set up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. So you could have 8 savings accounts and 2 checking accounts. Now peep this. Back in the day, you used to have to walk into the bank, tell the bank, hey, bank, I want to have, oh, hey, Rolando, I didn't even see you come in here. What's up? Welcome. Glad to have you here. So you have to walk into the bank, or this is what I used to do. I used to go with an actual like a piece of paper, okay? And I wrote down the percentages and I gave it to the teller and I said, here's my check. Here's how I want it broken down. Put all these in different envelopes for me so I know what I'm spending where. And now, thank God, technology exists. You don't have to do that anymore. And I made this. This is like probably one of the earlier versions of the calculators. I'm going to make a better version of this for you guys, but just to give you a quick breakdown of what it looks like, it's kind of what it looks like. So let's say you're making like 3K a month. All right. We're following the MITM Club numbers. Oh my gosh, everything just changed. So this account is for your gross income. Money comes into this account and you never touch anything in this account because it's automatically going to get spread across all the other accounts, right? This account is just for money coming in and you don't touch it. Anyone sends you an e-transfer, anyone you get paid from work, whatever happens, you put the money into this account automatically and it gets moved everywhere else. Then we have, let's see, I said 1% here. Let me change this to 10% because I was talking to someone and showing them, putting them on some games. So you see how when I change this, it changes the number up here, change this back to 100%. Let's say our living income, we wanted it to be 70%, and spending account, this is, I normally have this for either spending or business for people. That's why it's at 0% right now. We have our emergency fund. We said our emergency fund should be 20% good. So you'd be saving $600 a month there. And the rest of it, well, how is this $2,100 going to be broken down? You see, you already saved $300 automatically because you pay yourself first. Imagine if you did that every month, how much money you would end up having in the long run. And you won't, I tell you, you won't notice it. When you start doing this and practicing it, you don't notice it simply because it's that habit and it's just like another bill that goes out. And you see, you already have your emergency fund. How long would it take you to have, what, 3 months, 2-3 months worth of savings if every paycheck you're like, yo, 20% goes in here right off the bat? So I have at least a nice little cushion. So this already says $900 out of my $3,000 is gone. Who would have thought, right? I have $2,100 left to work with. Let's look at what happens down here. So you can decide what these accounts are. I say one of them should be your living wealthy or your living wealthy account. Maybe some things for groceries, maybe some things for your rent, your whatever. And when you have like certain recurring bills you don't really want to think about, like I'm a very lazy person, so this is what I do. I might say rent and utilities over here. Okay. Maybe I say I wanna save up for my vacation over here. Maybe I say I wanna living wealthy is there. Living wealthy is like you can spend whatever you want. I got personal development, but you change these to whatever you want them to be, whatever lifestyle you're building out. And it actually will help you automatically know what you have to spend, in each category, what you can spend in each category. So that means, oh yeah, my vacation is 7%. I can only have $147 a month towards my trips. Man, for 12 months, that means I'm gonna have this much or that much. So this is a really quick overview, one way you could start to make a plan. This is not a budgeting sheet. This is just a planning sheet, just to get an idea of where you could be putting your monies, just to get a quick idea. And I think, yeah, this isn't even 100% of the full amount. So we could probably boost this one up to like 20 and we'll see all of it change. Yeah, so this is 2,100. I'm going to make a better one of these for you guys, but this is just a quick idea of what you could do, and you can automate it. It's so much easier now. Money hits the account, it automatically gets shot everywhere else, and you don't have to touch it or do anything. This is what I do because I don't have the mental capacity to try and keep track of everything. All right, I try to use tools whenever I can so I don't have to break my head trying to think of everything at once. Before I do continue, does anyone have like any questions on that tool? Questions about how to use it? Questions about like, Okay, cool. So let's keep it moving then. The next thing we want to look at is to review. I know there's a recurring theme here. We had to calculate which was reviewing. We had to track and then review. We had to set our goals. And why is it that we want to review our budget when we're making it? Well, part of it is because you want to see if the budget you made is actually working for you. You should review it 1 to 2 times a month, at least once a month, okay? You should know where your money is going. If you don't know where your money is going, I'm pretty sure you're not going to be wealthy in this lifetime. I can say that with a pretty high level of confidence. 1 to 2 months. 2 times a month means that every time you get paid, if you get paid bi-weekly, you're just doing a quick review. It's much simpler to do it that way because you're already getting paid, money's coming in, know how the cash is flowing. Ask yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, how well is your budget serving you? Does it make you happy or does it make you upset and not happy? If it's not serving you, then change it. It's your life. It's your budget. You made the thing. Like, if you hate it, say, yo, this sucks. I don't want to do this anymore. Flip it on its head and do something new. Be honest with yourself. Are you actually staying on budget? And if you find yourself not staying on budget more often than not, you have to have a conversation with yourself on how you can improve that plan to actually get to where you want to get to. Otherwise, you're going to keep going down the same path that you've been going down this whole time. Like nothing is going to change. Nothing is better. You're probably going to be worse off in the future. So we want to make sure we review. Your budget works for you. You don't work for your budget. And the last pillar that we have is to adjust. And I kind of was already talking about this. So you want to adjust it. I already said this before, but your dreams are possible when you write it down. And when you write down the budget that you want to have and you stay on budget, it makes your life that much easier. So eliminate all the cash drainers that you can. These are things what early on, and I probably should have put this quote here instead. A small leak can sink a mighty ship. A small leak can sink a mighty ship. Cash drainers are the small leaks. Now that you've already done every single one of these steps to this point, ideally you've already been going through this for like a month, you can look back and say, yeah, I have all these cash drainers in my life. I have these bad habits. I go to cash advance places. Please never go to cash advance places. They're the worst places you can go to. You go to cash advance places, you're doing impulse buys. You have single-use purchases. You're just draining money for the sake of it. It doesn't make sense. It's not making your money work harder than you do. And at the MITM Club, we want our money to work harder than we do. That's the whole purpose. How are you going to be a millionaire if you're working harder than your money? Your money is your servant. So don't let it just drain away slowly. You want to increase cash creators. So eliminate the drainers and increase the creators. And one of the easiest ways you can do that right away is to negotiate. If you work at a job, negotiate a raise. If they don't want to give you a raise, then look for a new job. And you probably should look for a new job before you try and negotiate your raise, because you could have that new job lined up. I mean, I'm just some ideas out here. If you lose your job, please don't at me. But you could look for a new job. You could say, hey, look, I have this opportunity here. They're offering me this. Can you give me this raise? Otherwise, I'm probably just going to go work over there. You could do that. It's a great way to increase your cash right away. I remember I was working at a construction site during the lockdowns. I learned so quickly to the point where this guy wanted to make me a project manager. While I'm being a project manager, I noticed, hey, this pay that I'm getting kind of sucks. And I'm looking at other companies to go work for. And as I went to talk to these other companies, I'm like, well, I did like I increased my income by 1/3. And I told the guy, I'm like, yo, these guys want to kind of, they offer me a better gig. And he's like, okay, I'll pay you more, please stay. So these are the things that I was looking at. I negotiated. Pick up side hustles. If you guys know me, then you know I'm the king of side hustles. I always have at least 2-3 things going on so that I have more cash flowing assets or things happening in my life. I don't like to just rely on one thing personally. I don't feel secure that way. I like to have multiple sources of money coming in at all times. So I have lots of side hustles. One of them is flipping and reselling items. I know I told my students about this last year, how much I made. I think this year I made an extra probably like 4K just like flipping items. And it was like not that much work, you know. I get stuff for free like, and I flip them, right? So these are things that you want to do as you're adjusting to actually stay on your budget. So to avoid being a financial failure, make sure you master your 6 pillars of budgeting. Now, I do want to go into a small discussion, but before we do that, I want to pull up one more thing. So I know this is a document that is for anyone that's in the Money Mastery Dash. I know that I sent it to Frank. It's a brand new thing that has been created, but this budgeting template is something that is actually so helpful. It will make your life a lot easier. So this is the MITM Club budgeting spreadsheet. Now I know you're getting tons of value from that video, but we had to cut it short. The rest is just for MITM Club members. If you want to go deeper on budgeting, then make sure you smash the link down below and join the next Money Mastery Dash session. With that being said, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace. Give them the creme de la creme whenever I spit that hot shit.